Gran Turismo was a movie that intrigued me when I first heard about the title. I'm going, wait a minute, what? They're making a Gran Turismo movie? How in the world is that gonna work? What can you do with the IP of Gran Turismo? It's gonna be just another generic racing movie, right? You take movies like Rush or Ford vs. Ferrari and then you slap Gran Turismo on the cover. Kind of like if you see the movie Black Hawk Down, you slap Call of Duty on that and then boom, it's a movie about Call of Duty. I thought that that's what it was gonna be like, right? And then I see Neill Blomkamp is directing the movie and I'm going, oh my god, local Vancouver legend is directing this movie. There's some talent behind the camera here. And then I see that it's based on a true story, and I'm going, wait a minute, I never heard about this. Some guy actually was a Gran Turismo player, turned into an actual racer? How did I never hear about this before? Is this really a true story? So I was intrigued. I saw some trailers and I'm like, okay, let's give this movie a shot. So I finally watched it, but the question still remains, does Gran Turismo suck? Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I really do appreciate it. And on this channel, I just want to cut through the BS of toxic fandom, gatekeeping, and just pointless politics and agenda, and honestly tell you if this movie sucks or if it's worth a watch. In my opinion, of course. But tell me guys, what is your opinion? Do you guys like the Gran Turismo movie? Do you guys like the Gran Turismo games? Are you guys excited for this movie? Whatever the case may be, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Your favorite car, the car that you drive right now, your dream car, whatever it is, leave it down below. Now, let's get started. So Neill Blomkamp is our director, the guy who made District 9, Elysium, Chappie. And it stars David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, and, I gotta look this one up, Archie Madekwe. I apologize. And the story's about a kid who is a really good Gran Turismo player turned into pro racer. He wins a contest with Nissan. I always wanted to say Nissan. I always say Nissan in my personal life, but Nissan. Whatever the case may be, you know what car company I'm talking about. So the guy wins the contest and then he becomes an actual race car driver. So what did I think of this movie? Well, I've said this in many videos, but there's the two sides of every single film reviewer's brain. There's the film critic side of their brain and then the film lover side of their brain. Both sides of my brain have two different opinions on this movie. Let's go with the film critic side first. You know, the cynic side, as some people like to say. But don't worry, we will get into the film lover side of my brain later on in the video. So the cynic part of my brain sees the trailer and I'm going, yep, I can definitely tear this movie apart. And yeah, I definitely see a lot of problems with this movie and I can really just tear it a new one if I really wanted to. So let's do that just for a little bit. Don't worry, we'll be a bit nicer to the movie in a bit. So the first act of the movie is very generic, and even the film lover side of my brain will even tell you that. The first act of this movie, it didn't, you know when you're in Mario Kart and it's like, that's how this movie started. Not only was it generic, but it was just flying through its plot points, and it just, you know, hey son, why don't you get out of your room and stop playing video games and play some football? Because if you don't do that and you just stay in your room, you won't go anywhere in life, and here's what you need to do, and you can't do anything without a plan, and okay, you know exactly beat for beat how this script is going to turn out. It's the kid who needs to win the father's approval, yada yada yada. You see the trailer, you understand what movie you're going to get into. And yes, the first act of this movie is exactly that. And it commits the cardinal sin that a lot of bad movies that I've reviewed on this channel commit. And that is that it just rushes through its exposition and it doesn't allow any scenes to breathe. At least in the first act anyway. So for example, we meet Orlando Bloom's character. He's a marketing guy at Nissan. And he goes out of the airport, goes into the taxi, goes to his meeting, gets the pitch, and then boom, the racing program and the racing contest has begun. And I'm going, wait a minute guys, it's been 5 minutes. And I don't know who this guy is, why he's doing it. Is he like gonna lose his job? He needs like this big reinvention of Nissan marketing to really save himself. Why is he doing this? Why is he going, you know, totally off the board with Gran Turismo players and having them be race car drivers? Who knows? Who cares? He gets the meeting and then boom, he gets it right away. No like scene where he's just in a bar going like, oh my god, man, this is like the end of my career. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I definitely need this. No real humanity for his character, but who cares? He gets the meeting, he gets the pitch, and boom, he's approved. Green lit. Okay, go. And Orlando Bloom's character, he really is just a plot device. He's very one note. He's obsessed with marketing and the image of Nissan, and he doesn't have like the heart of racing. He's not racing for the love of the game as every other 90s kids sports movie has uttered at least one point or another. And there's even one point in the movie where he decides he might want to go with a different driver because he's just better with the media, better for optics. Again, he's kind of a slimy businessman. He's a suit, but that's the thing. He doesn't really have a character. He's a side character, but still. no depth there. And speaking about no depth, our main character, Jann, his girlfriend, Audrey, has no character. And if you guys are one of the people who will be like, I need to see a movie with a strong female character, I can't watch a movie with a bunch of dudes, and have just the women characters in the movie just be the side pieces or the side parts of the movie, then this movie's definitely not for you. So what's her character, right? He meets her at a party, he flirts with her, and then he gets his big contract, and I guess minor spoiler, but it's not too big. He flies her out to Tokyo, wines her, dines her, kisses her on the dance floor, and then she is his emotional rock for the movie. She is there to be his emotional support, his prize, right? There's no character there. She's only there to serve him. I will get back to Audrey's character. Trust me, I have some more positive things to say about her role in the movie. The villain? What villain? Oh, that cartoon mustache twirler, right? Nicholas Kappa is his name. I actually had to look that up. I forgot his name. He's just that other hotshot egotistical driver who's just an and he looks like a so he's just that one-note cardboard cut and paste whole villain. And it's that cheap sympathy that we get for our main character because, oh, he has to beat that guy. That guy's rude. That guy's a jerk. I don't like him. I like this guy instead. It's very cheap. And all this stuff I could have guessed from the trailer. The question I asked earlier, does this movie suck? If you're a cynic, or if you are a film elite in the cinephile community, right? You fancy yourself with a monocle and drinking a glass of scotch. Oh, Gran Turismo is not the greatest movie ever. It's quite trash, as the youngins like to say. If you're one of those, then you're not gonna like this movie, but you know that. If you see the trailer, you know what kind of movies you like. This movie's not for you, and the film critic side of my brain sees that. And add in some cheesy lines like, kid, you just gotta go out there, get back up, get back on the horse, and you could be one of the best in the... I felt like I was watching Battle Los Angeles again. You know what I mean? Marines don't quit. Ugh, gross. But there's the film lover side of my brain. And that side of my brain, that guy, thought it was just awesome. Like, this is an awesome movie. And, like, let's just talk about the racing scenes. They're phenomenal. They're spectacular. The cinematography is sleek. The editing is just on point. And the sound design, oh my... The sound design is great. The whole theater was just shaking. I could feel my seat just... Oh... That's cinema right there. Seriously. And of course, when you go to the pre-show of any movie, you see all those actors trying to promote their movie going like, this is a movie you got to see on the big screen with popcorn and your family. You got to see it with an audience. And of course, every single person is going to want to try to sell the movie. And then I saw David Harbour talking about you need to see it on the big screen. I'm like, of course you do. Guys, if you watch Gran Turismo, you got to watch this movie with a really, really, really great sound system. And even if you watch it at home, if you're watching it on your phone, you're doing it a disservice. You gotta watch it with this, like, that big surround sound, because, man, it just gets ya going. And I'm not even a big car guy, okay? I brought one of my friends who's a big car guy, and he loved it. But even someone like me who just, you know, uses a car to get to and from places and, you know, doesn't like to fine tune and doesn't like to lower his car, put in the subwoofer, none of that stuff, man, it was just a blast to watch. Those scenes really made you feel like you were in the car on the track. And I think that for a sports movie or something about, you know, anything extreme, you really got to get that down. And I don't necessarily know how to pinpoint it, but if I'm holding my seat and I feel my heart just pumping and I'm getting, you know, really into the match, right? Like I'm actually like cheering on our character. Like that's when you know that you got it. King Richard did the same thing. Like I was wanting to clap every time that Venus Williams scored a point. I'm like, yeah, oh, wait a minute, I'm watching a movie. It made me feel like I was really there on the court. This movie really makes me feel like I'm in the car at Le Mans. It's phenomenal stuff. Now, this isn't just a normal, you know, generic racing movie. I mean, it is, but it has a unique voice. What do I mean by this? They have some Gran Turismo tidbits in there. If you guys have seen Tetris, you have like those little 8-bit sections, kind of similar to that, where you have those little Gran Turismo moments when the race slows down and you actually see the lines on the track. You hear the sound effects. You actually see like the placement of the drivers where they are like 5th place, 6th place, or you see kind of the car break apart and you see all the brakes and you see all the engine, kind of like you do in the game when you're modding your vehicle and everything. And that's the thing, guys. The story is not great by any means. It's very simple, it's very cliche, but it has its own unique voice. It's got some energy, it's got some pizzazz, it's got some spunk. It stands out from the rest of the crowd because it does its own thing. This is a Gran Turismo movie, so let's not just, throw all that to the wayside and just make it super realistic. Let's tell a true story, but like put in some fun editing moments in there. Make it stand out, make it pop, right? That's what it did. And another thing is that, especially with true stories or movies just about anything, if you want to learn more about that subject matter after the fact, then you know that the movie did something well. And you really can't pinpoint that. That's just really the experience that you're supposed to have, right? Like, I'm not a big Gran Turismo player. I've played it a couple times growing up, but for me with video games, I've always been that arcade racer. I've been that Mario Kart player, with the items and the over-the-top levels and Need for Speed somewhat, right? Some of those older arcade racers, like, I know they're boats, but Hydro Thunder. If anyone knows what Hydro Thunder is, comment that down below. Let's be best friends. So I'm not a big driving simulation dude. I want to be after this movie. And that says something. Now, Jann, our main character, he's boring. Okay? He's not a very complex character. He is the blank slate. Who cares? He works for this movie. He's likable enough. He gives a good enough performance. He doesn't need to be the most complex character ever. You are able to attach yourself to him and become that character. Just like Harry Potter, just like Luke Skywalker, those characters do have a lot more charm and charisma, but he works for this movie. But David Harbour, though, he's the one who really steals the show. He's the one who brings all the charm, the charisma, the humanity, the credibility. I will admit, if you just had some like no-name actors, this movie would be lacking in that credibility. Orlando Bloom brings it too, but David Harbour really grounds the movie, and he's got great screen presence in this movie too. Yes, he does deliver some of those cheesy lines, but again, who cares? And that's the thing, right? Like, this is the underdog story. I've seen it a million times, but I like the underdog story. And I like it here. And Orlando Bloom, let's talk about him real quick. He looks different. You know what I mean? Like, he's not Will Turner anymore. He's not Legolas anymore. He's not even the Orlando Bloom we know from Elizabethtown, right? But he's still Orlando Bloom, and he's still cool in the movie. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, I like that guy. Again, can't really describe it, but he worked for the movie. And now getting back to Audrey, okay? I'm going to defend Audrey a little bit. Yes, she has no character, but she serves her role in the movie well. And remember how I said that you attached yourself to the main character? Any man, any boy will tell you this, okay? If you were a race car driver, and you just signed your first multi-million-dollar contract, and you're talking to some girl, brand new in the relationship, you're not really dating, but you still want to try to impress her, and of course, you're going through your phone, and you can't stop thinking about her, you're like, do I text her, do I not text her, and your mind is on her all the time. What do? Of course, you're going to want to fly her out, wine and dine her, show her a good time, have your first kiss in another part of the world, and just have an amazing time, have a great connection, and she stays to support you and cheer you on through the rest of your races. I mean, of course, men want a cheerleader, not like an actual cheerleader, like, go team with the pom-poms and the bring it on, you know what I mean? But a woman who will go, hey, I know you're driven and I know you're passionate and here's your purpose. I'm behind you and support you 110%. No matter what that is. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get destroyed for saying that or something, or people get mad, but that's the thing. A man loves when his woman supports him in what he does. So that's what she does in the movie. Yes, she has no character. I understand that. But like, it works for the movie. You know what I mean? And this movie made me feel like I was 15 years old again. I felt like, back in the day when I was playing video games and learning what kind of man I was and wanting to follow my dreams, follow my passions, and just starting to talk to girls and wanting to see movies in the big screen that were fast and just loud and over the top and just bombastic. This movie made me feel like a teenager again. In a good way. So does this movie suck? Well, the film critic side of my brain definitely says yes. Lots of problems, cliched storyline, one-note characters. Yes, this movie sucks. But who cares? I had a blast watching this movie. And that's the thing, and that's the honest truth. I believe that you go to movies to feel something, right? You go see a comedy movie to laugh. You go see a horror movie to be scared. You need to get that emotional impact from the film. And this movie gave me a big emotional impact. I had a blast watching it. I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 5 because I had an absolutely great time watching it, and I would love to watch it again. I'm definitely going to be buying this movie on 4K when it comes out, and now I'm going to be playing some Gran Turismo. Hell yeah, I am. So there you have it, guys. Those are my thoughts on Gran Turismo. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you like this video and you want to see more videos just like it, then definitely hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support. But I also want to plug in my Patreon if you want to support this channel on a more personal level. We have monthly watch-alongs, like these movie nights where we all get together, vote on a movie, we watch it. It's a great time. I give you guys movies from giveaways and contests, and you guys get to see content early. So if that interests you, the link is down below. Thank you so much, guys. Drive safe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.